You know, I just cannot get over the cowardice of some of these companies. I think that's what Fox News is doing. They just want to make sure that they're not on a list, that they don't, no, you guys aren't going to attack us. No. I mean, like you suck, Fox. But we have Pfizer yesterday. Yesterday, we found out that Pfizer said, hey, look, we've got a vaccine that seems 90% effective. That's great.
But we weren't part of that warp speed thing.
We had nothing to do with Donald Trump.
It had nothing to do with that.
Not true. I mean, they
What?
No, there is a story here of the private sector, right? Like that's not the way it's being presented. Shockingly in the media, that this one company decided to not take initial funds and have decided to develop it on their own by their own telling because they wanted to avoid bureaucracy. That's not going to be the story here. But they are taking money. They've been working with Warp Speed the entire time.
They were on the... may I say...
Yeah.
Trump mentioned it many times.
They announced it in their own press releases.
Our producers reached out to HHS and the White House for a statement. Here are the official statements given to us. In July, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, this is from Michael Pratt, HHS spokesperson, and the Department of Defense entered into an agreement with U.S.-based Pfizer, Inc. for a large-scale production and nationwide delivery of 100 million doses of their COVID-19 vaccine in the United States following a vaccine's successful manufacture and approval. The agreement also allows the U.S. government to acquire an additional 500 million doses at a pre-fixed, pre-established price. Operation Warp Speed continues to work very closely with the company through constant communications at all levels to ensure on-time delivery of the vaccine and other materials required for distribution and administration once the vaccine is approved. We also reached out to the White House. Here's Michael Barr, White House spokesperson. President Trump's Operation Warp Speed expedited the regulatory process and provided billions of dollars to a portfolio of companies to deliver a safe and effective vaccine 5 times faster than any other in history. Pfizer was among the companies that began working with the administration beginning in March, followed by an investment of $1.95 billion announced in July to support large-scale manufacturing and distribution of 100 million doses of Pfizer's vaccine candidate to the American people free of charge. Today's announcement demonstrates the historic success of President Trump's unprecedented public-private partnership, harnessing the full power of the federal government, the private sector, military, and scientific community to save millions of lives. Pfizer came out and said, no. No, that evil Donald Trump, we had nothing to do with him. Wow. And the timing of their announcement, it's not been approved.
That couldn't have happened, I don't know, 6 days before?
No, they woke up Sunday and said, Monday we have to announce it.
You know what? It's 90% effective just now. Right. We just now found that out.
Now, I wanted to give Stu an opportunity to comment on this because I don't understand this story. Vaccines timing is bad news, suggest undermining Trump's COVID vaccination plan. This is Cuomo coming out and saying the bad news is that Joe Biden won't be in for a couple of months. Here's his quote. Listen.
It's good news, bad news, George. The good news is the Pfizer tests look good and we'll have a vaccine shortly. The bad news is that it's about 2 months before Joe Biden takes over. And that means this administration is going to be implementing a vaccine plan. The vaccine plan is very important, and it's probably the most ambitious undertaking since COVID began. You have 2 months, and we can't let this vaccination plan go forward the way the Trump administration is designing it, because Biden can't undo it 2 months later. We'll be in the midst of it.
So his basic argument here is that Trump is trying to do it
poorly.
Yeah, they're going to do it poorly, and Trump is going to use the private sector, which is the big problem. That was apparently the big problem with the entire virus, was that we use the private sector too much, which is actually the reverse of the entire actual story of the pandemic. But that's a totally different issue. Everyone would expect Andrew Cuomo to be completely incorrect on all of his arguments. But the idea that and Cuomo's not alone on this. He's just, as usual, the worst offender. But the fact that they're out there trying to scare people away from taking a a vaccine or a treatment that could help this go away shows how little they care about not only the lives of human beings in general, but the lives of the people in their own party, the people who actually are dumb enough to vote for them. They don't care if they gather in parties of thousands screaming at each other from 4 inches away. They don't care because they don't care about their lives. They just care about their own agendas.
I won't hear of it. Did you hear, Pat, who has now become a leading member of Joe Biden's COVID-19 advisory board?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't think so.
Zeke Emanuel.
Oh, wow.
Remember
the
him?
Complete Lives
Yes.
doctor? That's wonderful.
Yes.
Isn't that great?
Yes, the Complete
That's
Lives
great.
guy. He was a key architect in Barack Obama's healthcare program. He's the guy who, came up with the Complete Lives system, which means if you're 0 to, and I'm just trying to guess at these ages. I used to know this by heart, but I think it's from 0 to 9, you get very little health care. So like at birth, you get none. You get no extra help to live.
Well, you haven't made any potatoes yet.
Exactly, and you're a long way away from making it.
Yeah.
Then, when you hit your teenage years, you get a little bit more. When you're 20 to 40, you get a lot of health care. That's the
Productive
zenith.
years.
Your productive years. So we got to heal you. Then after 40, it starts to go down. After, I think, 65, it's like nothing. You're back to an infant.
You can die.
Well, and this is the reason, of
die.
course, why Ezekiel Emanuel wrote an essay for The Atlantic discussing why he doesn't want to live past the age of 75.
Well, he said, and if I may quote, "Here's a simple truth that many of us seem to resist. Living too long is really a loss.
No kidding. Life sucks.
It renders many of us, if not disabled, then faltering and declining. A state that may not be worse than death, but is nonetheless deprived. It robs us of our creativity and ability to contribute to work, society, and the world. It transforms how people experience us, relate to us, and most importantly, remember us. We're no longer remembered as vibrant and engaged, but as feeble, ineffectual, even pathetic." I can see why he voted for Joe Biden.
Yeah. Right? 78 years old.
Before he even
at the
takes
top
office.
of his game, clearly.
Yeah, remember, Complete Lives system, he called this theory, he said, that he will, by the age of 75, he and others will have lived a complete life.
Yeah. Okay.
So I can't wait to get some of the treatments from him. You know what I mean?
Sure.
This COVID thing, everybody in the nursing homes, relax. Relax. Nothing going on there.